I spent over 22 years in the 1% Outlaw Motorcycle Club world, and one of the things I learned is that if you're going to poke one of the biggest bears in the woods, you better make sure you know what you're doing. What's going on, everybody? My name is Twitch, and if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you either saw my video titled Sos the Ghost is a poser, a liar, a punk, and Demons Row TV is a fraud, or you heard about it. And unfortunately, that video was taken down because Sos the Ghost people filed a copyright infringement claim against me. Now, I'm going to get into that in a second, but before I do, I wanted to take time to thank everybody who has shown support for my video and who has started, conversations as a result of that. There were a lot of important topics in that video, the least of which was SOS. The most important, message I wanted to convey was the true narrative of the culture and what I believe are the most important elements of the culture's history that don't get talked about enough. So I did that to protect and defend my culture. And in doing so, I knew I'd expose myself to some personal liability, both from, keyboard warriors, maybe the club community, and, who knows, maybe even SOS. And so I structured that video in a very important way. And I did it in a way that was done in good faith and I used his content minimally. And I did so believing that I was doing it and still believing that I did it under fair use. Now, I was born in the United States. I reside in the United States. That video was posted in the United States. And our Constitution, under our First Amendment, guarantees me the right of freedom of speech. Now, that doesn't guarantee that I can say anything I want, but I can say a lot. And I am certainly allowed to express my opinion. But Sos the Ghost is a public figure. He's built his income around portraying himself as this outlaw biker, this righteous one percenter, that's uniting motorcycle clubs and starting communication, and they're fighting for their rights against law enforcement harassment. And if you're gonna hold yourself out as a public figure, you also hold yourself out to scrutiny, and the nice thing is just like the First Amendment protects me, and allows me and gives me the right to freedom of speech and the right to express my opinion, you're protected by our defamation and libel laws. SOS is protected by that. And I can't just say anything I want. If what I say, is untrue and can cause him harm, I expose myself to civil liability, right? And damages. And so, just like in the motorcycle club world, if you're gonna make a statement about somebody, you better be able to fucking back that up. Because if you don't, bad things are gonna happen to you, right? So just like in the motorcycle club world, and being aware that SOS has rights as a public figure, I went ahead and made that video. And to protect myself and evidence that the statements that I was making about him were true, I used his own words and his own content, and I used it minimally to evidence that. There's nothing more damning than his own words and his own images. And if you note, in the video I produced, I talk about him stealing that diamond that I designed, that diamond patch that I designed, and using it to promote his video, earning my 1% diamond. I didn't file a copyright infringement claim against him. I reached out to him and said, hey man, I sent him an email. I said, hey man, I designed that patch and it offends me that you'd take it and use it for your fucking bullshit video. And he ignored me, right? Now maybe I was at fault because I didn't go into who I was other than my name's Twitch 1%er, I didn't think I needed to provide my resume, right? But I exhausted my routes, to deal with him. And so I let because I'm old, man. I live on a mountain, I play with dogs, I shoot guns. I'm looking to have a good time, not be in an internet war with some YouTube content creator, because that's not what I intended to be, you know? I was a one percenter who was disgusted by a trend I was seeing of Outlaw Motorcycle Club stolen valor, and it got to the point where the guy just tried to jack my legacy, something I spent 25 years of my life doing, almost 25, well, 22 plus of my year's life doing, you know? And sorry, I'm getting wound up. I don't like being censored. So back on track, right? This guy took my diamond, and in my video, I proved my statement unequivocally and systematically using his content, bits and pieces of his content. And, you know, because he was left with no response, and he couldn't respond to me as a man, and he didn't take the advice that I gave him in the video, which was apologize to the American Motorcycle Club culture. He handled it like a little bitch, and he filed a frivolous copyright claim, and in doing so, he stifled my First Amendment right to freedom of speech. I'm allowed to express my opinions, but if I'm going to express opinions that could potentially damage him, like the opinions that I expressed in that video, I need to be able to back them up, and so I did. But because he has no rebuttal that would make any sense to the community or any sense to his viewers, and his income is surrounded by, you know, his viewership and his subscribers and his clicks and likes and his fucking fraudulent image as this righteous one percenter, he responded like a bitch. Didn't ask me, didn't reach out and say, hey, Twitch, will you take down that video? Didn't say, hey, Twitch, I'll apologize. Will you take down the video? Nothing. He filed a fucking copyright removal with YouTube, and it didn't even provide any information to me of why it was taken down, other than he was claiming the entire video was his, which clearly it was not. He was not the focus of that video. Yeah, he was the focus of the title, but it's because I knew the title would get attention. And it would get attention to the crowd that I wanted to get attention and generate discussion amongst. And it wasn't like it was clickbait, because I proved what I expressed in the title. And it's not like those claims are at dispute, right? So I hope Sos the Ghost understands that, you know, one of the things I was known for in the 1% world, in the American Motorcycle Club culture, is that I don't get intimidated. I don't back down, and I don't give up. So, you know, I've filed a counterclaim. I'm gonna fight this because you fucking picked a fight. And so if that's what you want, that's what you'll get. And I will not be censored by some fucking pissant like you. So that's where we're at, man. And this is gonna go. And I hope you understand that if you take this to court, what's gonna happen is we're gonna have to get experts involved on Outlaw Motorcycle Club culture, because you have stifled my First Amendment right? And so that's gonna fucking come down to the fact of whether or not I am who I say I am, you are who you say you are, and whether or not my claims in that title are accurate or not. And all that's gonna get examined in court, and all that's gonna become a matter of public record. And so your reputation is gonna forever be ruined in public record. It didn't need to go here, man, but this is where you took it. And so, you know, I'm done talking about you. I will keep everybody updated on how this thing with Sos goes, but, you know, I proved my point. I've uploaded the video again. If I get another claim, I don't care, because like I said, my channel's not monetized. I'm not in this for fucking money. I'm making these videos to educate and, you know, inspire and generate discussion, you know? So, like, if you click like and subscribe, great. If there's something you want to see me talk about, please let me know. I'll talk about things related to the culture, the history. I'm not down to talk about club politics or fucking protocol. There's enough of that already out there. And the politics is just fucking off limits. So, you know, I might make videos now, like, look at what you've done, man. I just want to be the dude that expressed his opinion, because you were stealing my legacy. You were dishonoring my own personal legacy and taking my culture. And rather than fucking taking my criticism like a man, you know, I understand it hurt, honey. I get it, you know. But your girlfriend's cute. Have her give you a little kissy kiss and make it better, right? Like, you took it here, so remember that. You took it here. And what your actions have done is that they've exposed you as a fraud. Clearly, you don't live by the 1% code, or you would have responded to my comments and my emails I sent on previous videos that offended me. And I sent you on that diamond patch. But you ignored them, right? You know, and so here's where we get. And I didn't even want to speak up, but I was tired, man. I figured somebody in the culture would have spoke up before me, you know, and when they didn't, I was the guy with the right resume to do it, you know. So I did it because, you know, I knew it would put you in the position you're in. You can't refute what I said about you. It's just fucking true, right? It is what it is, what it is. I know it hurts your feelings, but that's the way it is.